Everyone here has heard of the game Palworld in some form of capacity, whether you're one of the many that has played the game online or if you've heard about it in its ongoing lawsuit with Nintendo. It is no surprise that this game took over and achieved the numbers it did, and the success that has garnered so far is well deserved. But today I wanted to talk about why Palworld is the catalyst to saving the gaming industry. What's up, everybody? It's Mike here, also known as BFG, and like many of you, I have been loving the game Palworld. And even though I barely scratched the surface on what it has to offer, I have about 10 hours of playtime on the game, and I know it isn't a lot, but I was saving this game until I had beaten the Dark Ages DLC Revelations, which is another game I will be doing a video on shortly. So subscribe if you want to see any other gaming news and videos like that. But regardless, when playing Palworld, I really had something really special happen to me. A sort of good, optimistic feeling while playing the game. And I know, crazy, right? Optimism and gaming really goes together nowadays. But I couldn't help but notice just how much fun I was having and how easy it was to get immersed in the world of Palworld. And just how, vast the landscapes were, all the different areas of land you could see, having this mystical feeling about wandering around and wondering what pals are inhibiting the area that is up next or in the distance, really made the world feel alive and made me want to capture every pal that I came across because, well, there just are so many unique ones out there. But then it hit me. This game really reminded me of something. It really reminded me of a lot of great games. Games like Elden Ring, where it's just open world and just very different in every area that you go to. It reminded me of another indie game that came out a very long time ago called Minecraft. And it really felt like Minecraft mixed with, Pokemon. Because in Minecraft, it was just a game that really had no direction. It was just originally, just you surviving in a world, and it was just a simple concept that the developers at Mojang Studios just ran with. And I'm getting the same feeling from what Pocket Pair is doing with Palworld. It's a similar concept, because the game itself is just open world. You can do whatever you want, whatever you feel like. And it runs with the motto, gameplay is king. Because there really aren't any cutscenes. Yes, you do have dialogues with NPCs in the world, but that's as far as it goes. No voice lines, nothing like that. Just you and the game world. So you just create a character and decide if you want to create a single player world or jump in a multiplayer one, or even host your own multiplayer one in the game. And whatever happens next is up to you, the player. You can follow some of the missions, which tells you the basics, how to build a base, also leads you to your first settlement, or you can just go crazy and start killing every pal or capturing every pal. Whatever you like to do, it is all up to you. The choice is yours. But why do I think it is such a savior of the gaming industry? Well, because it's a perfect example of what the AAA gaming space lacks and why the AAA gaming space needs to be dismantled. And it's the perfect antithesis to why indie titles are the best and why they will always have the most innovation out of any other game, while they will always be the ones who will respect the players the most, both time and money wise. As you see, when this game came out at the 1.0 update, which added a bunch of whole new content marking its official release, they could have easily increased the price of the game. But guess what? They not only in fact kept the same price, but even had it go on sale for less during the Steam summer sale, despite having the biggest update to the game yet. So they could have easily justified and said, hey, we're increasing the price of the game due to all the stuff that we are adding in this 1.0 update, but they didn't, and the player count numbers show just how popular this game has become. And it is taking the gaming world by storm yet again, achieving over 40 million players across all platforms and selling over 30 million copies, which is insane. And it is clear as day that the AAA space is scared of this success, especially Nintendo, simply due to the fact that there is an ongoing lawsuit with Pocket Pair, and the fact that it isn't looking good for Nintendo is just icing on the cake. Because let's be honest for a minute, Pokemon hasn't had any innovation since its inception back in the 90s. If you go back to play any of the original Game Boy games for Pokemon, you'll find that it is pretty much the same as a current day Pokemon game. Yes, they do have an open world style, and I'm using the word open loosely in that case, and they do have real-time battles, but they aren't really real-time. And combat in Palworld is miles ahead of anything Pokemon has done recently, or in that case, forever. Now, I haven't really played any Pokemon games in a while. I think the last ones that I recall playing are Sun and Moon, but for me, there isn't any reason to get back into Pokemon, because all they do now is just nostalgia bait people in their 30s, like me, about trying to make them think about the good old days, and for the most part, it does work, especially with the other popular aspect of Pokemon being the trading cards. Because you might have seen it in your day-to-day life, you know, some loser waiting at a Pokemon vending machine at a grocery store, Target, I don't know where they keep them, but you know what I'm talking about. That they just wait there for a restock so they can go back and resell their haul to someone else for a markup price. But what if I said that Pocket Pair is so petty, and honestly, rightfully so, that they're coming out with their own trading card game? Yes, they are set to release their own trading cards at the end of October, with pre-sales beginning at the end of July, so in about a week or so from the time of this video's release. And honestly, I love this move so much for them. And to be honest, I honestly might pick up a booster pack myself, because this is exactly what I like to see from indie developers. Not folding and bending the knee, and not being bullied around by a big corporation. No, in fact, they are doubling down and saying, you want to come after our game, and we're going to come after your true moneymaker, being the trading cards itself. And I really hope it works out for them, because this move is an entire aura gamble, since Pokemon cards have been in circulation for over 30 years, and to step into that ring with a true titan like that is certainly ballsy. But I will admit, it'll be hard to pull off, but it really does have potential to make some money. And like I said, I will be supporting this, because this is exactly what we need. More indie companies that push back against media titans like Pokemon and Nintendo, because the more we support this type of stuff, the less these corporate companies think that they can have control over us. So I encourage anyone that has played Palworld and has enjoyed it to go out and buy the booster packs. Not on resale, of course, but buy the booster packs and support Pocket Pair, because this is exactly why Palworld is the savior that we need in times like this, where big companies are pushing the envelope more and more and laughing in our faces while doing so about how much they can get away with it and how much they can take from us while charging us up the ass for it. Where companies like Sony are telling you that you'll be able to only buy on their digital storefronts from now on, instead of being able to borrow a game from a friend or buy a used version of a game from a second party company. It's just telling, and this is why we need more companies like Pocket Pair and games like Palworld that are pushing the good fight and telling everyone that there is another way that we can do this, another way that we can win and push back against these big companies, which is why you should never let up on these AAA companies for taking away things that we once had, and which is why you should always mock and make fun of anyone trying to defend any of these things that these AAA companies are trying to do to us. Because the sooner you forget is the sooner these companies go back to start pushing the envelope again and again. But that is all I have for today's video. I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.